Greetings, media fantasistas. Welcome back. And well, RMR is about to start, so it means that it's time to jump into the lab and have a look what we can cook. Right. So as always, everything is the same, classic UI, and yeah, the matchups are pretty simple and pretty straightforward. The best plays the worst. The middle plays the middle. So let's have a look. Obviously, it's going to be best of one, as we all know. The first matchups are best of one, and then elimination is best of three. So, pardon me, it's been a long week, so let's cook. So, FaZe obviously should be beating 9 Pandas. I'll give my quick I don't know thoughts on how good teams are like on the first round. So right now on Pandas, I expect them the best case scenario to play at the 2-2 stage. The worst case scenario, they are the ones that potentially can go 0-3, and it's unlucky for them, but it is what it is. FaZe goes through over here. VP versus Saw. Classic VP versus Saw game like they had a while ago when VP qualified for the major. So again, they face each other. Like RMR without them facing each other is not RMR. So yeah. So over here, uh, again, VP should be taking them down with no problem. Now Navi against Koi. And one more time. So for me, it's another team that can go 0-3 without a doubt. However, I have a bad candidate for going 0-3. So Navi versus Koi. This one is interesting one, depending on the map. I believe there's a chance that Navi can actually lose this game because it's best of one, and we know that in best of ones, Navi is not really the best team to kind of uh, believe in. So, but still, Navi should be taking this one down. Now G2 versus Into the Breach. Um, in and once again, Koi is the team that in my book they should be playing in 2-2. But will they? I'm not sure. G2 versus IDB. Mm. Now, when Tesco is no longer sponsoring the Into the Breach, unlucky for them, and G2 Monocy should be absolutely destroying them. And I hope that Nico finally wakes up because his performance, even though I understand they don't really want to play with Hooksy anymore, but they still have to until the end of the major. And as soon as that is done, Hooksy is gone. I'm 100% positive about that. And once again, I was right in terms of all overall vibe in Katowice that G2 had no chance against anyone in the playoffs. Um, it's on fire versus NIP. For me, this one is probably toughest matchup in the whole round one because we've seen what Eternal Fire can do, but in best of one, I'd say NIP still have a slight advantage. Uh, Only for one reason, because NIP have more experience and they kind of can surprise because you don't really expect anything from them, and no one really knows what to expect. Because with Eternal Fire, we know the way they play, and we know who they obviously expect to hit frags every single time. So just counter that, and you're pretty good against them. But against again in NIP, we have no idea what Alex is cooking. So this might be the time to kind of gamble on NIP, right? We've already seen them going through RMR 3-0 when no one expecting that. So who knows? Maybe they can do it again. So Amcal versus Enterprise. Amcal had a pretty easy run to qualify over here. They won 3-0 without really being tested properly. And once again, facing Enterprise for them, I think it's a free win. Uh, with the experience, there's nothing more to expect. Bad Boom against Fnatic. For me, it looks like Bad Boom have some internal issues. I'm not sure what exactly going on, but I think that still should be enough to actually beat Fnatic in opening game, because pardon, current Fnatic lineup, I don't know. I'm not convinced about this lineup. Uh, we have obviously unproven players like Matis, QB. Afro as a sniper is meh. Crims, like the only player that's consistent is Crims. Everyone else is meh. So what do we expect over there? Uh, I don't. I just can't see how Fnatic can actually beat any team that kind of plays like tier 1 events or tier 1.5. Right now, Fnatic, for me, it feels like if they get very lucky, they're gonna advance to the major. If no, then in 2-2 game, they're just gonna be eliminated. Unfortunate for Crims, but it is what it is. 3D Max versus Falcons. Once again, 3D Max is a huge disappointment. Uh, Falcons should be enough to actually advance through to uh, at least to 2-2 game. And obviously, the whole focus for the Falcons lineup right now is major. That's it. They have to advance to the major. They have to get their stickers in the game, and this was the whole purpose of this lineup. So, round two, FaZe versus Falcons. Best of one game. Anything can happen. Potentially something like Ancient or Nuke, where anytime anyone can win. But once again, I believe in Kerrigan, and Kerrigan should be advancing through with no problem. Uh, VP versus NIP. Mm. If this is the matchup, then VP should have advantage, especially after they got slapped in the face in Katowice, where they were supposed to go pretty far, and in my books they were one of the favorites to at least go to the semifinal. But unfortunate results, and now it's quite obvious that they have to kind of prove that that was just an accident and there was nothing really major happening in the team. And for me, once again, VP should be the one that advance. Navi versus Bad Boom. Mm, Once again, anything can happen, but at this point, Navi probably gonna focus pretty hard to just not drop a single map all the way to like the round three where they will have to fight for 3-0, but that's gonna be a different story. Right now, in best of ones, I think that Blade's understanding of what are the weaknesses of their opponents is more than enough to actually go through this. A G2 versus Amcal. Um, I expect this event to be kind of G2's wake up call, because I believe that right here is where the upset can happen, and Amcal are the ones that potentially can do that. And I believe that this is exact moment where G2 will have to kind of switch gear and not drop us anything after that and just qualify 3-1. So this is kind of questionable one, but yeah, I believe this is the moment where they'll have to wake up. 1005 versus Fnatic. Once again, Fnatic for me is a team that's probably going to face elimination game. Um, and it's still gonna be best of one over here. So Eternal Fire, Centaurus just can single-handedly just destroy them without problem. 3D Max is Enterprise. Um, 3D Max should be taking this one, and Enterprise will be playing elimination game. Uh, Now C's and his pandas are gonna face ITV, which, in my opinion, unfortunately, are the team that probably gonna be facing 0-3, one of two teams. So Koi versus Saw. This is the matchup of kind of local matchup, So this can go anyway, but right now Koi is the team that most likely going to be advancing. Now let's do elimination first. So Into the Breach versus Enterprise is the first elimination game, and Fnatic against Saw is the second one. This is where Fnatic probably going to win, and Enterprise going to play I to the B, and I feel sorry for Enterprise because I do want them to actually win this matchup against ITB, but I just don't see it. So now Bedboom against Pandas. I do believe in Bedboom a bit more. G2 versus Koi. As I said, after G2 gonna face that wake up call, they will not drop anything and will beat Koi. Eternal Fire gonna face Falcons, and obviously Falcons gonna destroy them. NIP versus 3D Max. I believe in NIP over here. Now VP versus Navi. Um, this is gonna be the most boring game you could potentially imagine in RMR, and potentially it's gonna last all three maps, and potentially it's gonna be triple overtime in every single map. So this will be the nail biter. Every round gonna end up just by the clock, So 2 seconds or 3 seconds before the end of the round, like these are my expectations for this game, right? And at the end of the day, probably VP gonna have the slight advantage on this one because this is what they do every single time, and Navi, unfortunately, they still have to master that, and yeah, unfortunate for them. And FaZe against Tamco, I don't think FaZe gonna drop anything over here. I think Kerrigan right now gonna be super motivated, and once again, because this is the last matchup what kind of FaZe will have over here. I'll just quickly say what I think. Why I think that Kerrigan was so emotional after the loss in Katowice, because once again, I still believe that potentially this is the last kind of season that we see Kerrigan in Counter Strike. I think that most likely after this major, he will retire, and who's gonna take over him? I don't know, but I think that this potentially is gonna be his last major. He's 34 now, and it's time. One more major, he's gonna play CS2 major, and then he's gonna retire. He has a great lineup to pass over to whatever IGL is going to come and take over him. But right now, I think he already made a decision, and this was the main reason why he was so crushed, because he knows, and probably team knows as well, that this was his last chance to play in Katowice as IGL, and yeah, I think that's the main reason. So now back to elimination games. Koi versus 3D Max. Um, I gonna bet on Koi because 3D Max. I'd like to see them at the major. I'd like to have this sticker, but they've been so terrible recently that they either been saving strats or they just bad. Eternal Fire gonna beat ITB, no doubt. Uh, Nine Pandas against Fnatic. Anything can happen. I'd like to say that Fnatic gonna win, but I believe I have to give advantage to Nine Pandas over here. Falcons against NIP. Um, I have slight more faith in Falcons right now because the overall skill on Falcons is slightly higher than on NIP. And yeah, NIP once again for me they have to play in 2-2 game, and that's where they probably belong right now. Amcal versus Bedboom. Um, there's gonna be complete opposite of VP versus Navi. There's gonna be the nail biter. Like I think every single round will end in first 30 seconds, unless it's gonna be like I don't know some eco stack B or something like that. Then it's gonna be different. Other than that, every round is gonna be freaking fight, 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 fight. So, and in this case, I'd have to give Bad Boom slightly more advantage. Navi versus G2. Once again, G2 gonna have their wake up call and will advance over Navi. And then Navi against Eternal Fire. Sorry, Turks, but in this one, Navi will have to take it down. Uh, Amcal versus Koi. Um, Amcal should be taking this one, and it's going to be locked for me. VP, sorry, not VP. NIP against Nine Pandas. Once again, I have more faith in NIP, and sorry, Sis, but you're deceased. And yeah, so now with all this bracket and all my potential matchups, it's time to jump to the actual team builder. So, um, which player do I think gonna have the best rating after first three games? Is it gonna be A, Frozen, B, Robs, 3, Brokey? Uh, Frozen for 219k is my best shot right now. He's playing all the best positions. He should be having the most impact in the game, and potentially he should be carrying most points. Now my second team that should be going through as a 3-0 is VP, and in this case, who do I have in my mind that will be destroying everyone? Flit for 223k. Is this enough? Or do I just pick Nico for 5k less and give him another option? Because Nico will be playing ITB, then Amco, and then probably Koi. Like, Nico has more options to go for nuclear ratings. And Flip, 223k, a bit too much. So in this case, I have to go for Nico, right? Um, in terms of second player from FaZe, do I really want to pick anyone? Brogy 212. I'm not sure, but if we just drop down and see the prices of the players, then we're gonna see that Hetrick is worth 193k, and potentially he can have the most impact in the team, right? Um, Rifle wise, I can see the way that he can play with the rifle and at the same time have a lot of impact with the op. And against Eternal Fire, this is what they need, right? On the other side, there is always a potential for the upset, and if it actually happens, then uh, he will have to play against Navi, and there is a chance for them to beat Navi, of course. So other than that, um, Hat-trick is probably my best shot on low budget players, right? Who else? Who else can I go from the budget players? Um, Snappy most likely is the best option, but because I'm going to pick Hat-trick, there's another player, Azitag, that is pretty cheap and overall leaves me with 193k to have another player that potentially can score good points. And once again, because I have faith in Bedboom that they're gonna go 3-1, um, this player has to be either Zorte or Chiron, right? Chiron had quite a few games where he was not really the best player, but I still kind of keep believing in him. And at the end of the day, this is potentially what I have to go for. On the other side, I have spare 8k, and if I take someone else instead of our friend Azitag, I'll have 185k for decider. Is that enough for an upgrade? Um, Not really. Like every other player is basically not in this price range. Danis, it's it's a decent pickup, but is it actually worth it? Or can I just downgrade and pick another player? Or should I actually just leave Hattrick on the side and just go for someone from Falcons? Because potentially it's more or less same price range, and yeah, and at the end of the day, I'll have to kind of have a filler anyway. So, is it worth picking Boris and be left with the 172k, which is basically just enough money for Alex? Or should I go with someone like JL? I'm not sure it's a great idea. Or Hunter. Should I just take two brothers and then 184k for same basically thing, right? Um, so um, once again, Sanpais, and then I still have to take Alex. Uh, or should I just do this? Instead of him, I'll take Snappy, because there's always a chance for these two guys to have a 3-0 run. Potentially possible. Or should I just give up on Nico, take his cousin, and have 199k left for another potentially uh, good player? Siren, no. Hat trick again. Uh, Not the best options. But on the other side, we can do this. Boros and Sunpies. And then 172k left, which is just enough for Alex again. Hunter. Do I really want a Hunter? Not really. Hat trick. 173 again. Alright. Back to the drawing board. Frozen is my number one priority. Second player. Alright. I'll go for Nico. I think it's time for him to shine. Then, do I really want to pick his cousin? Let's try. And drawing board. Then we go back to Ezzy tag and Chiron. And once again, 7k left. 184. Alexi, Snappy. Not the best option. Or once again, Nafani. 183, Chiron. You know what? I believe in Boom that they're gonna advance 3-1, and G2 gonna go 3-1. Then why not? Why not? Nafani, where are you? Let's not be funny and pick Nafani. So this is the lineup I'm gonna go with, right? Start Hunter on Frozen, Nico multifrag, Hunter defender, IGL no, entry no, SMG not really, entry. Let's go for this. Well, actually, Nafan is gonna play that. No, no. Can I just actually? You know what? Let's do this. And Hansa is gonna be my not entry. Do I want to IGL Hansa or no? Let's just double check the matchups, and if this happens and then this happens and this, a lot of potential, to be honest, right? Uh, but edit lineup, and if I go for this instead of that, Brokey, 190k, Nexa, huh, interesting. Let me try to cook this quickly. Chiron Hunter, 402k, Boris, Mir. Is this an option? Is this an option? Hat trick. Huh. You know what? Do I believe in all these teams? Let me just do my redraw quickly. This. Yes, yes. Hmm. You know what? Quick one. Once again. Yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. True, true. Face, VP, Navi, Amcal. Yes, 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 yes. Bad Boom G2 Falcons. Yep, yep. Over here. Yes, yes. Yep. You know what? I think I have to go with this, right? Every single player has a good potential of going for a lot of points, and at the end of the day, Hunter will be my support player. Boros is going to be my entry player. Hat trick, sniper, which potentially can make him an ultimate ultimate value player, right? Because he's under 190k. Potentially, even if they bust, he still should have a positive rating, right? Because he's not playing those aggressive positions. On the other side, Boros is the one that can snowball any team. Hunter, if Nico doesn't wake up, Hunter can be the guy that's gonna support Monasi with the whatever they have to do, right? So against ITB, uh, trades. I'm not sure it's gonna happen over here. Cannon Fader, you know, yes. Avenger, and over here. Let's go with the Kobe. So, I think this is it. This is the team that I'm gonna go for, and good luck, have fun, and let me know what you think, as always. And see you next time.